Right. the ID, like where this stuff originated from. But yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Now or did you want to say stuff first?
Appreciate it.
Well, yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Who's five?
I mean, we could just like go over the points then. No, no, that's cool. Go ahead. Well, they right. Objectify something.
To be to be fair, if you if you ask if you ask me what is a woman, I would not be able to instantly give you a definition without using that word. It's for me, it's like kind of instinct to incorporate that word in the definition, right? So then what is okay? Is okay. Okay, so you said a woman is an adult uh, female, adult human female. Okay, because I was gonna ask you like, what if you're not an adult? But then that's a girl, correct?
Aren't there like species on Earth that are like androgynous sex or whatever? They can like change their sex into
Differentiation. Yeah.
Yes, it's me. Just tell him.
Even she agreed that she was biologically male. Well, okay, but it's because in the intelligentsia literature of the left, like all the gender studies and all that shit. Okay, like all the literature on this is like, oh well, gender's a spectrum, so you can technically be, you know, somewhere between in some amorphous zone between man and woman or whatever. I'm not saying I necessarily believe that, but that's just that's the spiel that these people give, right?
I mean, if you're talking about hermaphrodites, sure, but that's such a small percentage. But if you're talking about people that identify that way, listen, not everything in your head is objective reality.
I agree. I agree with you. But according to the literature, that's the case, right?
Yeah, the literature produced by what biased
Of course. Yeah, I'm not saying
professors. I mean, professors that we just got an example of.
You can absolutely critique it. Yes, 100%, and I will stand with you and critique it with you. But like, I'm just telling you that's why they say that.
Yeah.
Right.
Mind you, that doesn't just extend to gender operations. It extends to vaccinations, pills you're taking, any psychotherapy you're going through, any
Yes.
medical
Age of consent, drug use, like et cetera, et cetera. Driving a car, like
no, even like psychological treatments, right? Like CBT and stuff like that. I think you need parental consent even at 16. Cognitive behavioral things like that. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, this isn't the law everywhere, though, Sonny. Right? Like, Canada, it's not. There's many states in the U.S. where that's not the case. Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. Okay, listen, as someone that wants to do the medical profession, I will say I think doctors need to be scrutinized a little more, especially surgeons, if they're not explaining the risks and the benefits with full transparency. Because, yeah, because no, I'm just saying. You said, is there anything else you want to bring up? I think that's a big thing.
I
It's like
agree.
because
But
listen,
there's a reason why that doesn't happen, right?
I don't think all parents are stupid. I think a part of it is these professionals. They don't give you the full truth. They don't give you the full story. Okay, and like the way that doctor, the one with the colored hair, the one that was like, do chickens have emotions and stuff? Um, the way she described puberty blockers, dude, that was just so scary to me. She's like, it's like pausing music. You unpause and it continues like it was before. That's not how puberty blockers work at all.
I really wish Joe was here because Joe would be like the opposite. Like she would, at least it would be like an opposite opinion, you know. Exactly.
Also, comes back to it comes back to our initial thing, which is, mind you, puberty blockers are usually for people going through puberty, right? So typically, these people are younger than 18 and younger than 16, also sometimes. So it's like, if you know, if the precedence is going to be, which I want, you can't make medical decisions on your own before 18, then this isn't even part of the question.
No. I mean, I don't think I think restrooms should be the same way. If I'm being honest.
Third restroom. Okay, I'll explain later. Go ahead. I'll explain.
Or yeah, like how hard is it to build one room in a school, right? Like you could probably build a third restroom and it would work out okay.
I'd be okay with.
Well, I'll agree with that. Wait a second. Did you say you're allowed to torture inmates? Oh, not okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Sorry. Never mind. I mean, there's like tons of examples, right? Like the most common one being sports, obviously. I mean, like, I guess if you want to quantify all of sports with Olympics, then yeah, sure. I mean, just like general,
Yeah,
like,
what about change rooms?
like any safe space for women or men in general, right? Like, it could be any numerous amount of things.
Wait, what's wrong with the third section in jail? Well, personally, I don't think jail should be taxpayer funded to begin with, but if it is taxpayer funded,
Heavily, heavily disagree.
No, we can talk about that later. Why I don't think jail should be taxpayer funded, but
Totally disagree.
no, I never said police should be said prisons, but okay. And I said private, anyways. No, I've done a lot done a lot of digging. There's more problems with public than there isn't. We'll talk about that later. No, I'm not. I meant exactly what I said. Is prison should not be funded by taxpayers. But carry on. Okay, there's a lot of ways to fund it. There's a hybrid system you can implement. There's also a system where you give contracts to people. Now, the way these contracts are distributed, I have a system for that as well.
Yeah, I'd rather have that conversation later. Yeah.
No, I won't continue.
I mean, like, it's a subjective thing, wrong or right. Like there's probably good arguments on both sides.
Won't. Okay, let's just say this. I will. You will not. No, I know. I'm not. Let's, Andrew. I said I'm agreeing with Andrew. It's a subjective thing. I'm just saying you won't change my mind. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying you won't change my mind.
You're
I
going
will
into
predict.
a conversation with "I refuse to change my mind." That's the most American thing ever.
I said I predict.
You closet American,
You will
you.
not change my mind. I said I predict. I said I predict you won't change my mind.
No, that's not what you said. You were like, "I will not. You will not change my mind." That's what you said.
Okay, fine. Will not change my mind. There you go. Oh my goodness, Ali. Wow. Okay.
Well, Sunny changed my mind on super PACs the other day. Yesterday.
Yeah, and that's it's just I predict you won't change my mind. I'm open to having my mind change. It's just I predict it. It's just I predict Ali won't. Okay, listen. I predict Ali won't. Maybe Andrew might. I predict Ali won't. There you go.
I mean, I'm generally in favor of like hybrid system. Like, I'm generally in favor of like partial privatization of most. I'm gonna grab a drink.
By the way, there already is a third. There already is a section in prisons. There already is a third section. No, we're talking about prison. I'm talking about prisons. I'm not talking about whether it should be private. I'm talking. Okay, wait. Would you say private sports company? Is that what the Olympics are?
All right, I'm back.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't hear the first part of the conversation, or this particular topic or whatever.
Wait,
sure
so I have a,
I'm not sure I agree.
so for publicly funded, are you opposed to a third category? Then the people that pay the property tax, aka the parents and the public, they should decide.
Okay, but what if like 10% of the parents want like gender inclusion or whatever, or to degender the school sports, and then the other 90% don't? Like, how do you solve that problem?
That's the whole nature of the public. That's the whole nature of publicly funded. It's not based on what the individual wants, based on the masses want, the majority want.
Yeah, and I think that's like problematic in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
This is why I push for like more nuanced legislation in like virtually every category of politics.
yeah. Can you explain that a little?
Yeah, sure. So like, I mean, like it could be like any. There's tons of examples. Okay, like, I mean, I just use like this isn't about gender, but you could make the same argument with gender. Okay, this is like, and I'll get to this, but like my general example of that is like you can look at various different industries. Okay, like at least within the United States, some are extremely heavily regulated due to like private and public pressures for various different like ulterior reasons, and some of them are heavily underregulated. Okay, so like some examples, right? Like an extremely heavily overregulated sector is energy. Okay, energy is insanely regulated versus when it shouldn't be, versus like when we were talking about super PACs the other night, right? Like private donorship and like the clearing firms and all the like people at the top of Wall Street. It's massively underregulated, right? So that's like an example of sort of directionless regulation that's pushed by like private and public interest, ulterior motives in general, when there's actually no nuance when it comes to that policy. They don't actually look at what's a problem and what needs to be regulated within the industry and what doesn't, right? That's like one example of that.
So like, okay, let's use your example about energy being over. So the counter, the other end of the spectrum was market makers and clearing firms not being regulated enough. I don't know if I can say that is like based on public interest. I think
that's why I said. I mean, in that case, yeah, it's mainly like private interest or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like there's a good example like with the energy sector, okay, which obviously I know more about, but like with that, it's so you know how 3 Mile Island happened back in the 70s, right?
Yeah. Okay, Andrew, stop. Yeah. Does this have to do with sex and gender?
Yes, I'll get to it.
Okay, go ahead.
So after 3 Mile Island happened, okay, there was massive public pressure in general. This wasn't like just from private donors, okay? This was like massive public interest to highly regulate this stuff, like because of an extremely minor radioactive leak that came from a plant, okay? And now because of that, our entire like nuclear industry is dead in this country. It's literally because of one incident and public pressure that pushed for these insane regulations that stayed around for decades, okay? And they're still there. And this kind of thing happens in virtually every single industry all over the place. And it's happening with gender right now, okay? That's why I liked what that bald guy was saying on the documentary, because he was basically saying, like, yes, like, we need a better solution, both in terms of the actual, like, medical solutions and in terms of the approach policy takes to implementing those solutions.
Wait. Okay, let's bring this back to schools a little bit, okay? So, okay. What elections are technically is you're choosing what you think is the right guy to spend your taxpayer money, right? Like, sure, we make policies, but who funds these policies? Taxpayers, right? So you're choosing the right person to spend your money, quote unquote, technically, okay? Now, when it comes to schools,
it doesn't actually operate like that.
But yeah, so when it comes to schools, it's not really one school. One school doesn't always have complete precedence over their school. It's usually a school board. At least that's how it is in Ontario. Okay.
It's like districts. They have districts in America.
Yeah, it's usually like a school board. Yeah, things like these that are like, school policy. They're pushed forward by the school board. So I don't know about America, but over here we actually elect our school board representatives. Okay, these are publicly
same with America. Some
Yeah,
of the
America
states
does that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why I think democracy does work in this situation, right? It's like there is someone that you can keep accountable with your vote if you don't like the way something happens.
Wait, but obviously it's not working though, because parents are like fighting hard all over the country
Yep.
to
I agree.
to actually try and do that, and it's not obviously not working.
I agree.
It is.
That's the thing is the thing is I can't necessarily blame democracy for that. What I do blame for that is how this democracy is being implemented.
Okay, sure. I mean, yeah, if you want to make that distinction, then yeah, which is basically what I said. But yeah,
no, like you said it. What if like 10% of people don't want it, 90% do? You know, if democracy is executed the right way, then the 90% that want it, they'll see their vision.
I mean, yeah, I did say that or whatever, which was probably a dumb example. But like when I said like, I'm trying to remember when I was like, yeah, it doesn't actually work like that, right? Like you don't actually like when you elect representatives and they're supposed to represent your interests. Like it doesn't actually work like that.
It hasn't worked like that in a very long time. We all know that. Everyone knows that.
Of course.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's the problem. Like if you're saying that's the problem, I agree.
No, here's the funny thing though. I would actually say our positions here are not radical at all. Like, for example, we're saying, well, actually, some of us positions are, but a basic thing where when it comes to jails and when it comes to like spas where kids and adults are naked, like this is something so simple. 99% of people agree that, yeah, you shouldn't allow some dude with that video that he showed was in California. There was a woman who was angry, and I'll bet money that she didn't vote for Trump. She literally was angry that, wait, why is there a guy with his penis in a room with little girls, and he's just naked walking around and again, this is not even radical. Most people agree, like, yeah, you shouldn't have that. You shouldn't have dude. I don't care if they're identifying as a female. They should not be in the same room as little girls. Like, that's disgusting. This is not a radical belief. So if there was an actual wait. If there was a referendum vote, on this, but if there was a referendum vote on this, majority of people would say, yeah, no, we shouldn't have that. Or for jail, we shouldn't have men go to women's prisons. Shouldn't have men.
Yeah, obviously, most people are going to agree with that. Like that's
so. Yeah,
not an interesting question.
I don't think it's appropriate even for other women to be walking around little children naked.
No. Listen, when it comes to like spas, like you can have women with their like 4-year-old daughter, and I'm not saying they're fully naked, but you know what I mean. They're pretty half naked.
Listen,
yeah.
With their head short, yeah, that's different. But I'm saying other women, like a 42-year-old lesbian woman walking around 4-year-old girls, and they're both naked. I don't know if
like in a gym or something, like in a public space. I don't think that's really that weird. Like, what if you go to a public swimming pool with like your little kid, and there happens to be like a 40-year-old
bathing
lady that was swimming laps, changing into a swimsuit. Like, that's not that weird.
Yeah, but you're not at the beach.
No, I'm saying you're at like a public pool, like an indoor pool or something. That's really not that strange.
No, but if sunny means like in a nudist beach, for example, I agree that in a nudist beach, you shouldn't even have adults and kids. Sorry?
At least for now. Yeah,
Sunny,
kids aren't even.
Sunny,
can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, he's fine. I can hear him perfectly.
Okay. I said kids aren't even allowed at nudist beaches. At least for now. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but. Yeah, there's a reason for
that. Kids aren't allowed at nudist beaches, but they're allowed at like public swimming pools with their parents or whatever. Like, trust me, I worked at like a pool like this for like 8 years. Okay, like it's really not that weird in public spaces to like have people changing in a locker room of different ages.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Again, it's the sex problem, because you have to say if you are a perverted adult, and I'm 100% sure there have been. I don't want to accuse all transgender people. But I'm sure there's a significant minority, maybe majority, of them saying, hey, yo, I can just pretend I'm a girl. Like, there was a guy who literally who did this on purpose, where he purposely went naked to a bra fitting place just so women would touch him. And he almost admitted that on camera. Like, yeah, I just did that because I know they weren't going to reject me. It was illegal for them to reject me. And it's like, yeah, you are opening the door for perverts to do this. You're literally.
I mean, yeah, that shit's fucked. But I'll be honest here. I don't think that the majority of like trans people would do that, right? Or like are interested in doing that at all. So,
of course,
like, I don't know. This
is
is like kind of a qualm. Like, Scene is probably gonna hate me for this, but this is kind of a qualm I have with the right overall. Is that like I was watching fucking Louder with Crowder the other day, right? And like this is just an example, but I see this a lot from the right, where they'll take one extreme example, and they were talking about like in this case it was about the sports thing, okay? They were like taking this extreme example that is Leah Thomas, right? Who transitioned out like in her 20s, like it was way late, she was already post puberty, like et cetera, all this stuff, yeah. And it's a very like way out of the ordinary case. And then what people on the right do is they take that and they extrapolate it to like the entire trans movement, and then they make it seem like everybody in the trans movement is like Leah Thomas, even though nothing is for truth, right?
Andrew, you're right. Not everybody in this trans movement is like this. It might even be a minor. Sorry, Sonny, go ahead.
Yeah, no, listen, I despise like those hard writers, trust me, as much as you do. However, I think especially nowadays, right? These minute cases, they set a precedent, dude.
Yes.
Like C16 in Canada, like yeah, it's not banning all speech, but it's the fact that it opens the door to do so.
Yeah, actually, speaking of that, okay. So one of the things
I'm not in favor of C16. I think C16 is a dumb bill. Okay.
Actually, no, I'm glad he brought that up because Andrew, just so you know,
and I think people like Leah. Hold on.
I'm using an example. A lot of these things are stepping ladders.
I agree, and I agree they're stepping ladders, okay? But generally, I'm not a fan of like slippery slope arguments, and I think it's pretty easy. Hold on, and I think it's pretty easy to make legislation that can sidestep like crazy out of the way, like anomalies like Leah Thomas or C16 or whatever. Right?
No. Okay. Wait, Sonny. 1 sec. Instead of a slippery slope, there should be another fallacy called like opening the door fallacy or something, where the C16 example is a very good one. So remember that video he showed of that guy in British Columbia who literally was in prison because he literally misgendered his kid and was opposing transition. Now this is very important. Sonny showed me a very good example of so when I said, this guy in Alberta was arrested for misgendering someone, Sonny showed me no, listen, they took them to court, and then the judges in Alberta actually ruled in favor of him. So because this is something Andrew and I've been putting this up for a while, so this is a good time for us to put this to rest. So Canada and US and just most English common law countries go by case law. So the way that works is in Alberta, the judges in Alberta
are set by a case decision.
Exactly. So in Alberta, technically you and Sonny were right, where it wasn't a speech law. So in Alberta, the judge actually ruled in favor of that guy, and so he didn't go to jail. He didn't pay any fine. Okay. However, a different judge in British Columbia, though, did put that father to jail literally because of Bill C-16. So the issue with Bill C-16 isn't that, it just, there's no free speech in Canada. No. The issue is it just opened the door, and now, case by case, there's like some, and trust me, our British Columbia is literally our California. So I'm not surprised that Alberta ended up siding in favor of free speech, while British Columbia ended up putting that
can I correct you?
You can try. Go ahead.
Can I correct you for?
Go ahead. Yeah.
So the B example from the movie, the 2018 one, he actually didn't get charged under any sort of hate speech or misspeech laws. He actually got charged. It was a criminal felony, right? So he got charged for abuse. That's what he got charged for.
Yeah, but abuse because of breaking the speech law.
No. He didn't get charged for violating a speech law. He got charged for violating abuse or whatever you want to call those laws.
It's like child abuse laws.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'll bet you $10 that. By the way, that case should finish this November.
Didn't it say that in the documentary that he was arrested on child abuse charges?
They said it was arrested based on misgendering, opposed transition, and child abuse. It literally had all.
That's not what it said.
Wait. Okay. Fine.
Said they defined it as child abuse or whatever.
Fine. Would you guys want to bet money, because that case will end by November of this year? And I promise you, I will bet money that they will reference the lawyers on the kid's side, or not the kid's side, but the mom's side. I promise you, they'll make a reference to Bill C-16. I will put my money where my mouth is, because Sorry.
I don't know. Got charged with it. Let me see.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Again, so Sonny made a really good point, and now he's trying to debunk his own point. I don't know what's happening with this, but he made a really good
Wait,
point.
what do you-
It sets a precedent. It
The
literally
facts-
opens the door. Can I please, Sonny? Seriously, man. I literally stopped talking whenever you talk, and now you keep interrupting me.
Okay, go ahead.
Please, seriously.
Go ahead, man.
I apologize 12 times.
Have it.
Thank you. So again, Sonny made a really good point. It sets a precedence, and I strongly agree with him. That's actually like an amazing quote, one of Sonny's legendary quotes. And again, it just opens the door. It's not a slippery slope. It's an open the door fallacy, which now, and that's why I can promise you guys. Oh, hey, Bobby, we're live on YouTube right now. It literally puts a door where some judges would say that, this is, and that's why I'm willing to bet money that.
Oh
they'll
wait,
literally
doesn't it
release this.
depend on where he gets tried though, too?
That's the sad part, yeah, because different judges in different parts can rule differently. So if it goes federal, then yeah. If it goes, we have a Canada Supreme Court, so we'll see what happens if it goes to the Supreme Court. So did you want to say something?
Look, like the other, or yeah, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, I have the article pulled in front of me.
You want to stream it?
Okay, I don't know because I have other things on my phone that I don't want YouTube to see. Okay, so he is alleged to have revealed information about his child's mental health, medical status, or treatments,
Yes.
thereby effectively violating those who are protected under HIPAA B.
Yep.
So that's a BC version of HIPAA and the EMR Act, which is the Electronic Medical Records Act.
Yep. We have the same thing in America. And I brought this up to you, Ali, like 6 months ago when we talked about this case. This was the exact point that I brought up.
Okay, so do you want to bet money that they're not going to reference this? Because I guarantee you they will reference Bill 16 in the court this November.
Sure, they might, but I never turned back on setting precedents, anything. I'm just trying to correct the facts. It's like you're saying he was charged for misgendering. That's not what he was charged for.
No, but I promise you that is included in his charges. That's my whole argument. Is that is included in the charges for misgendering.
No, there's
That's not what he got
he wasn't even charged for misgendering. Like there was nothing to do in the charges with misgendering.
According to National Post, he is.
I encourage you to send me that. I'll have a look at it.
I made a new channel called The Law.
Can't you just go on like the Canadian court like website and look up all the transcripts?
Here's the thing. So there's one from thestar.com and there's one from nationalpost.com. And so
nothing from like the actual Canadian court website.
The Star is a Canadian and so is National. Wait, is National Canadian? I don't know if National, but I know the Star is.
I don't know, but I'm on the National Post one as well, and they also said he's allegedly to have revealed information about his child's mental health, medical status, charged with violations of EMR Act, BHIPPA Act, and HIPPA Act.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is the impression that I was under too when I originally researched this case. It seemed like he was arrested because he breached all these privacy laws, not because he like misgendered his kid or whatever.
Oh yeah, no. To me, I think it's an inclusion of all those, and I'm open to being wrong. But I guarantee that he's going to do it, and I'll be proven wrong this November. I'll be proven right this November.
I mean, I feel for the guy, because he probably felt like he didn't have any other course of action. You know what I mean? Yep. Like I understand why he did it, but.
Also, we don't know to what extent. We don't even know to what extent he revealed it. Maybe he didn't reveal anything that was compromising, so he shouldn't have been charged for violating privacy laws to begin with.
Yeah, that's absolutely possible. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. This November will be a very fascinating thing because if this goes all the way to the Supreme Court, which I'm gonna guess it might, and also this November is America's election, so this is gonna be a big constitutional change in Canada and America's. Which, by the way, I think. I've already told anybody, guys, I'll bet $50. The House and the Senate are both going to go to Republicans. No one wants to bet me, but yeah.
I mean, I don't necessarily think that's like all that radical. Like,
yeah, you're right. Probably
right. Like, I don't think it's that unlikely for that to happen. So
yeah, because Andrew and I were talking about this, and listen, no matter how sure, there's crazies on the right, but the basic premise of the right is correct, which is. The biology is very important, and the left completely abandoned the biology. Like in Britain, this happened too. In Britain, there's literally their main left-wing party. There's literally a civil war in it because they can't even agree that there's such thing as biology. They can't. I'm not even making this up. The Labour Party in Britain is literally split down the middle, that they can't even agree if biology is real. At least the right is saying, hey, the biology matters. Now, there's some right-wingers that say, oh, the gender doesn't matter, it's just the biology. I agree, those are the fuck people. But would you rather live in a world where the biology matters 100% or the biology matters 0%? 99% of people will at least go with the 100% biology. Am I wrong?
I mean, no, I never said you were wrong.
Yeah.
My only real qualm, like, I agree with the logic of the right much more than I agree with the logic of the left.
Exactly.
Okay? Like I've reiterated this many times. All right.
Of course.
The problem I have with the right is the disingenuous like in general, I think the right actually argues much more in good faith than the left does on average. Okay.
And objective.
I'm saying, like, in regard to gender, I think that the right is more disingenuous than the left.
You use the word good faith. I think, again,
just on this specific.
What does good faith mean? No. Yeah, no, of course. And Andrew, I'm literally not attacking you or anything. But what do you mean by the word good faith?
Like generally, like good faith in like a political terminology. I guess it means like, I mean, my understanding of it anyway is like you're approaching a topic like from not only a point of understanding. I mean, you're approaching like it from an argumentative point, but you're saying like, these are my opinions. You're presenting everything faithfully rather than like misrepresenting data, for example, which I see the right do all the time.
Yeah, and another part of good faith is like some people argue just to disagree with you. Some people argue to find the truth.
Right. Or even educate themselves through, like an adversarial type thing, which I enjoy doing. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. No, that's the thing.
And generally, I think the right is better at that than the left. But when it comes to gender, I see the right being way more disingenuous than the left.
Well, just so you know, if you mean, but the word good faith, if you meant good faith as in like, they're nicer, I think the left is technically being the nicer ones because they're the ones literally defending the delusions.
Oh, good faith in this context means like whether you're purposefully misrepresenting like points in order to push your political agenda or your talking points.
Oh, yeah. Okay, then, wow. Okay, first of all, thank you. I just learned a new word because I thought good faith just meant like you're a good person. But that is so true. When it comes to good faith, dude, I would say the left has been bad faith since 2018. I think since 2018.
I think in general, the left is absolutely more bad faith than the right in general. But I think on gender, the right is worse.
Well, again, what? You just said gender. You agreed that the right is more good faith. Now you're saying the right.
No. I said that I think the right is more bad faith on this specific topic than the left is.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know. What do you think, Sunny? Do you agree or not?
Okay, listen. The way it works with the right, the way it works with the right is that they are definitely right now, at least in the past 5 years, they're the team of facts and stats. Okay, they're the team of science, team of facts and stats. Okay,
Yeah.
Not really come with facts or stats. So naturally, they don't really have the facts and stats to misrepresent. The few facts they have, they will, especially the left-wing medias, they will misrepresent it. But in just a debate, one-on-one debate, like they don't really come with facts and information to misrepresent. They just come with feelings that they think justifies their opinion.
You're saying the left does or the right does?
The left. Now,
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Now, the thing is, Andrew, you look at it like good faith, bad faith. I look at it who argues with their feelings more. And in this gender thing, I think the right argues with their feelings a little less. When it comes to abortion, I think the right argues with their feelings more.
But I don't necessarily think that arguing with your feelings makes you bad faith. I just think
maybe I should arguing primarily with your feelings or solely with your feelings.
I mean, I guess you could call that bad. I don't know. Like, I guess it just depends on your like definition of bad faith or whatever. Yeah. But to me, like bad faith is like purposefully misrepresenting like data points, for example.
Okay, maybe they don't even understand the data points, but I don't think they I don't know. I'm thinking about like these YouTube right wingers, right? Like the likes of Daily Wire, the likes of Crowder. There's not really facts that I've seen them present where it's like, oh, I know they're trying to finesse this through.
what
Okay.
they will do is they'll take very fringe cases, like I said earlier, like Leah Thomas, for example, okay, among others. They'll take very, very fringe cases and say, and make it seem like this is representative of the entire issue or the entire movement, when that's absolutely not true.
I
Okay.
can get behind.
Wait, sorry. One sec. Okay, let's get to something else. Sina, thank you for streaming the video for us. And I would say Sina is unarguably the most, conservative person in this voice chat right now. So I want Sina's side. What do you think of all this? Sina, you've been quiet.
I don't think he's there. Oh, no, he's there.
Well, I mean, I was just kind of gone, and I went to fill up on gas, and I went through a fucking car wash and everything. But then in
That
Jerry's
sucks,
and came
bro.
back.
I'm
So
sorry. How much did you spend?
So-
like $80.
Stop, Andrew. Focus on the
no, 35 actually.
Not bad.
Anyways, yeah. What was I gonna say?
Yeah, what do you think of this whole
I think
transgender? Because again,
I think Andrew just takes it way too lightly. I think
what do you think?
it's
Fine,
detrimental.
don't attack Andrew. Just what do you think we should
He's
do?
singling out me.
Stop.
Andrew's super passionate.
What do you think we should do with this whole transgender thing? Because again, I feel like you're the most right wing of all of us. So please go ahead.
Go back.
It really depends how right wing. I mean, I was thinking about the extremes a while ago when you guys were talking, and I guess the extreme would be, instead of spending the taxpayer money on trying to fucking like help these guys, you would just exile them, or just not even talk about them somewhere like Russia.
But you're saying that's
totally
not
not advocate
necessarily
for
your
them.
opinion. You're
You
just
think we
saying
should
that's
exile
not right.
transgender people? Should we kick them out of the
Yes.
country?
Yes, I think they are detrimental to society, and advocating for their representation in society in a broad view is actually a very
That's
harmful
cringe.
way.
That's cringe as fuck.
Harmful
That's
thing.
really extreme, dude.
I mean, that's okay. You may think that's cringe. I think it's cringe that you're sitting there pacifist while your country burns down. That's the most
I don't
cringe
know
thing
why
about
you
the
keep
whole
using
thing.
the word pacifist. Like,
I'm not
I
being
agree with
pacifist,
you that
'cause
there are
you are a
problems within the
pacifist.
movement. Okay.
Sure, you
No, I
agree
agree
on the
children.
problem, but you don't know what to do about it.
No, I agree that children, for
Nobody
example,
knows what to
shouldn't
do
do it
with
without
it.
the. No, Andrew. What do you? Wait, stop. We do know. We're saying, for example, one, children should not do anything to their body without the consent of their parent or legal guardian. We're saying that.
You're misunderstanding the point, Ali. Like, okay,
That's
let me ask
kicking
Sina a
it.
question. Okay.
Mhm.
Can I ask you a question, Sina?
Mhm.
Okay. Do you think gender dysphoria is a real thing? Like, do you think people actually have gender dysphoria?
I think it is a mental disorder. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So if it's a mental disorder, right, which you agree that it is, yeah, and the psychological literature agrees, yeah.
Mhm.
So the question is what to do about that, and you're saying exile the people with a mental disorder?
No, I think we should exile their advocates that are technically not. And the hard part is trying to prove that they're not, transgender. The individuals that take opportunity of the label of transgenderism and use that label to
Oh,
leverage their own
activists.
ideas into society. Sure, activists who say, yeah, I mean, it encompasses activists as well, but these individuals in society should be punished. They are actively, working against their society's
Okay, but that's
benefits.
not the question I asked. Well, I mean, I guess it is the question I asked you, but let me ask you a different one, okay? So, assuming that, and we agree that these people have a problem, right? They have the gender dysphoria, yeah? So, what do you do about the people with that actual problem? Because I agree with you that it's very evident that simply like putting them on hormones and having them get surgery is like not really solving the underlying issues in a lot of cases, right? So like, what do you actually do about that?
They
problem?
must seek
That's really
psychiatric
at the core. of it.
psychiatric treatments. Go to therapy. Like the doctor said, the number of people that just transition without without actually consulting with a psychiatrist or a professional that can actually that should actually be the first step before like that could potentially intervene in that person's life and stop them from making such a drastic decision. That's no longer being considered in many of the cases, in the majority of cases. I think that happens with an intention, because why else would you take away the safety net for individuals that otherwise need somebody to talk to, first of all, because they have issues within society. So instead of that, we just push them along into surgery, and we affirm their unrealistic, I guess, delusions about the world and their own perceptions. It's
Okay, would you agree with the idea that in some cases, obviously not all, and I agree with you that like not all, right? Probably not even the majority, uh
Mhm.
that surgery can actually be like a good thing, right? And can actually like make your life better and give you a better quality of life and like help with your underlying gender dysphoria, right? Like I think in some cases that's probably true, right? Like wouldn't you agree?
I would say in very little cases, yes. In very little cases where the uh, the doctors and practitioners that have been following the cases of the individuals for years, and we would have to then determine how many years they would have to do this in order to actually like determine if this person is really a transgender individual, if they really do believe that they are what they should be, and this is their final decision. Then up until that age, it should not be done, and it should just be
Like,
monitored.
okay, fair enough. Like I'm just trying to get you to see like that simply wanting like a middle ground and more like less directionless policy in terms of this is not like being a pacifist, okay? Like I agree with you that there are problems or whatever on both
Well,
sides, okay? And there are like reasonably intelligent arguments on both sides. And like
you
I think
see,
you can find like
the
something
reason I
that's a
say
bit like
pacifist,
I want something between exiling all these people and also or just degendering everything. Like I think both those options are terrible, right? So, like there has to be something better, yeah?
yes, but there
I don't
also
know why
needs to
Cena
be a
would say
sense of
that.
urgency
That's
in this. Listen, there needs to be a sense of urgency in this because this is actively like fucking up your next generation. Like your country is nothing without your next generation. What the fuck? What are you guys really gonna do? You're
I mean,
already
like for
at
me,
a
it's like
lowering birth rates. You have high suicide rates, high fucking overdose rates. You have all sorts of issues, and you're just allowing this to happen, knowing that there's foreign influence involved.
okay. No, okay,
And
stop.
this
Because
is
again, everything you said is true.
well,
Yes,
I
we
don't
have
want
high
to have a
suicide rate,
discussion about
high
China.
crime rate. All that is true. However, exiling transgender people is not going to fix those problems. Like that is just irrelevant. Just oh yeah, let's
I mean,
just
yeah,
take
listen,
out
you're
all
not
trans.
basing
necessarily
you're
exile them.
betraying
We
the
get
You
principles of
just
the
said that.
liberalism.
government comes out and says, listen, the government comes out and says, we're going to give you guys money for a one-way flight. You choose where you want to go. Where's your paradise? Where do you think you'll be happy and you'll be accepted? We say, no, fuck off, you just fuck off and go to your
What if
country
they
Dear
you
want
want.
to
God,
stay? What if they want to live in America
Fuck
and
off.
be
no,
born?
no,
Well,
no.
obviously, America is not good enough, so they can just fuck off. I think it's that simple, isn't it?
No.
No, it's not.
I
Yeah,
would say it's pretty. I would say it's pretty simple, and I mean we're what mid 21st century. Like, come on, it's pretty
yeah.
simple.
I mean,
No, it's
I'm
not.
just
And
not
actually, wait.
like
Actually, I just realized. Yeah,
I'm just not
You're
gonna
not going to be traveling for fucking months on end to get to your destination. You
no,
just fly there
also,
for 18 hours and you go.
also, somebody actually just sent me something saying if we just exile transgender people, they're just going to push their suicide rate through the roof. Which that's a really good point. Like, this is going to increase their suicide rate. So, what you're advocating
And
for
that's
is
totally
more
fine.
death.
They may suicide in another
That's
society
totally
and be
fine.
unproductive in another society. They may be a detriment to another society, but not ours. And that is my final stance on
Yeah,
it.
so yeah, exactly. So you care more about the overall condition of society than the people that live in it.
I do because it directly reflects
fair enough.
an average health of the society.
I mean, I'm just not going to agree with that, but okay.
See, this is you know what's
That's all right.
this is funny because I get called right wing when I say, listen, kids shouldn't transition. Like men shouldn't be allowed to go to women's prison just because they say, "Oh, I'm a woman now," and I get called right wing. But dude, you make me look like a left winger. Like this is your view is I don't know,
Well,
like
because in
So
reality,
this is what I would say,
you are.
man.
You're
That
trying to
applies to
carefully.
right,
No, no, no,
bro.
no, no, no. Listen to me. What it's become is that now people have become into groups that are either very left, moderate, or right. Okay, we get this. Okay, now the left wing, we don't have to explain much. Right wing, we don't have to explain much. Moderate is an interesting one because moderate ones technically they tend to have traditional values and beliefs and ideals. However, they tread lightly on what they say and how they portray their ideas. It's like in deep down they know that they do to a certain degree belong to the right and their ideas do actually originate from most of their base foundational ideas originate from the right and traditional ideas rather than the left. However, they want to not make the left upset. I don't know whether this is because of social pressure and the fact that they might be getting canceled, or that I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, I know for a fact that most moderates and middle grounders
Not at
are
all why I'm
not
moderate.
leftist in any sense.
Yes, okay. I'm a moderate, and I, Alex RG, have very strong views on transgenderism. Like I said, when it comes to kids should never be allowed to transition, and jails should never allow biological females. Any kids with what's it called? Any space with kids should not allow men just to pretend that, oh, I'm a woman, just to go in there. So again, these are, some people call my views radical, but again, I don't believe in taking out transgenders, exiling and killing them. I just think, again, there should be a lot of age restrictions on this. And
Nobody said kill him. Nobody.
First off, hold on. First off, really good job completely generalizing a category of millions of people. And secondly, none of those reasons at all are like, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but like other moderates I've talked to, and including myself, none of those reasons are why I'm moderate. I'm not afraid of pushback from the left. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me. Okay.
Either, yeah, amen. That's why I like Andrew.
I don't care about offending people, this or that. All right. I'm not afraid of getting canceled.
Andrew, you would not be scared of losing your potential prospects of jobs.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, even if you don't,
maybe another individual would.
A lot of people would.
Well, yeah, exactly. Maybe another individual would be, and most people would because they're dependent on their source of income.
I think a lot of parents.
And this is why I said I can only speak for myself. Okay.
Yeah, like, and speaking for yourself.
The reason why I'm moderate is because I actually read arguments from both sides, and I try to understand.
And you try to sympathize, and the fact is, you try to sympathize with the left's argument, but you
it's not about being
no, that is garbage.
Understanding the logic of it. This is logical reasoning. This has nothing to do with
theory. The logic behind you coming out and saying, "I'm a female"? You're obviously a dude with fucking nuts.
Yeah, but
where's the logic in that?
I don't say that.
No, I know, but the sect of people that you would technically be supporting their ideas, or at least certain ideas would then be the same people that say garbage like this.
Logical thing. You agreed with me. That's what gender dysphoria is. You agreed gender dysphoria is real. So, like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yes, would you say that, like, if I said,
what are you considering from the? Are you considering the fact that it's a mental disorder, and then so what? But you're also considering them as well, in the sense that you want to give them freedoms over the rest of society, and that's not the way it should be working.
Like what? Finding optimal solutions to problems that we have? That's not how it should work.
Okay, an optimal solution is not you like pushing the kids of your fucking country into transitioning into another gender instead of.
Okay, no, Andrew, and I agree with you. No, Andrew,
I never said I wanted to push kids into transgendering.
I understand, but technically, by not fully standing against it, you are slowly kind of supporting it and allowing that.
I don't buy that line of reasoning.
That is literally what you're doing. I mean, the reasoning of Ali talking about Bill C-16 was that he was talking about an opening gate. It's basically the same shit.
That's true. That is true, though. The opening gate, he's right. Because, again, even if, like, some judges don't take this seriously, it does open a gate of putting people in jail or finding them just for misgendering. But the funny thing is,
in future cases, you can reference that
I want to find good solutions to problems makes me, like, somehow sympathetic to, like, the crazy progressives on the left is nonsense.
Yeah, no, that is true. Because this is, like, the people like me and Andrew who are like, listen, guys, I don't support Ukraine. Doesn't mean you support Russia. Which is, again, this is not like the thing. If you don't support Ukraine, doesn't mean you automatically support Russia. So you could literally be like, I don't support Ukraine or Russia. So it's not really like.
Listen, since I couldn't hear Andrew's stance on all this, I would like to know what his solution is to all this. What is his solution to transgenderism?
That's the exact problem. I agree
with you. No. You just question me and fucking criticize my shit. I need you to, at least to a certain degree, have come up with certain stuff that you can offer as well. What can you offer?
Okay, I'll tell you generally what I think. Okay, I don't have a perfect solution. Nobody does. Not even PhDs that have studied this for like 10+ years.
I don't like that. That's appeal to authority.
Well, I'm just saying, okay, people who know a hell of a lot more about this than I do, medical professionals don't know what to do about this problem, all right? But I'll tell you my general take on it, which is I somewhat agree with Cena in that therapy needs to be pushed more heavily. Like it's a decision that needs to be talked about a lot more heavily. I agree with Cena when I think there's a lot of medical professionals, doctors, and people in the intellectual community, activists, whatever, that push trans kids into these like life altering decisions that aren't necessarily right for them given more time.
Yep.
I agree with that. Okay,
Yeah,
so
no,
I think
we're all on
I
that
think
page.
taking
Andrew,
more time. I
Andrew,
think getting a
can we-
better medical and psychological consensus matters. Yeah.
Can we have a real heart to heart for a second here?
Stop
Yeah,
streaming.
dude,
Can you,
I
whatever.
just, like,
tell
I
me?
let
Can you tell me
bro,
what
I sent
the
you a line,
true?
bro, and you just rejected it.
Okay, guys, should I stop streaming if you want to have like a more unhinged conversation?
No. Because I have to ask him this question because, and this is important. Can you truly what picture do you picture in your mind when you think about the American culture as it is right now in a majority shown or represented way? What is
I
the
don't like what I
culture?
see. I don't like what I see.
Yeah, you don't like what you see. What are you doing about it, Andrew? Instead of being a moderate, which literally just says, I consider this and that, and then what? Just stand there pondering about what? You either have to take an action or you don't.
And like I
You're either
actually
too
go and
late to take that action or you're not.
legislation and policy that would actually holistically, or at least relatively holistically, solve problems. Instead of saying, well, let's deport all the people with a mental illness.
Can you give me any? Sure, give me an example. What is a candidate that you think is actually taking or has a proper solution, or you to a certain degree agree with their solution?
Like in terms of gender or anything.
Sure. Let's say, I mean, the topic is on transgenderism, so let's say transgenderism.
Like, so wait, you want me to give you an example of what? Sorry?
Of a politician and their solution to the transgenderism issue.
I mean, like I said before, I don't think anybody has like a full, like 100%, this will work, guys. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't exist. Okay. This is like a novel thing, right? That nobody like really ultimately knows the good answer to. Okay. But I think it's probably what it probably is a mixing together of a lot of what the people on the right say and a lot of what the people on the left say. I think
Wait.
like
No.
points on the left or right,
Wait,
some
Andrew,
points on the right.
No. That's a lazy. That's a very.
Andrew,
I actually think
Andrew,
the right actually the right has more correct points, and I think Andrew, you agreed with me. That the
Andrew,
right does
you
have
said
more-
earlier, Andrew, you said earlier you want to have a harder push for therapy and mental health professionals, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so Cena, like, what do you think should be? Because Cena, you agree with this as well, I assume. So, what do you think? What do you think should be the aim of these medical professionals? Should it be to convince them that you're just going through something and you're not what you think you are, or should it be to help them just accept the fact that they're not who they think they are and just cope with it? Like, do you think they should? Do you think these medical professionals? Do you think these medical professionals? Wait, Ali, wait.
So this is why I mentioned.
Wait, no, wait,
that
stop.
there
Let's
should be a
let him finish. Let's let him
monitoring
finish.
period.
Wait, let's let him finish.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
interrupted. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Ali interrupted. I was about to finish. Okay,
Sorry.
so yeah, do you think essentially, in a nutshell, do you think the goal of these therapists or psychotherapists or whatever, do you think the goal should be to help them realize that they're not who they are, or not be transgender anymore, essentially?
Yes.
I can answer that.
Yes, I think during the period of monitoring, which I would say then would be, again, from birth. I mean, if the parents deem that they would want to go under this program, then yes, they would go into the program. The child will be monitored up until a certain age, and up until a certain age, if they are still consistently showing patterns of wanting to keep that change or make that change, then you allow them as an adult. However, during that monitoring period, you will not make any sort of changes. You will not interfere. You will just try to help them objectively understand what they are, who they are as a species of a person, a part of our species. If they are confused in any sense, I mean, they're a child. That's totally fine. We explain to them. We give them time to grow.
A solution. I mean, that's not really a solution, but okay.
What do you mean?
The fact that I told you that we put a program, a medical program out there that parents can sign into, that gets their kids into monitoring and monitors them throughout certain ages. You think that's not a solution? What
if
would
I'm
be a solution
15?
then?
Yeah, what if I'm 15 and I tell my therapist, like, I need to physically change ASAP or I will kill myself.
That's a manipulative tactic. I know plenty of
No,
girls
no,
whose
I'm,
boyfriends told me
no,
the
no,
same
because
thing.
no,
if
that's
you
not
pick up-
manipulative. Because
It is.
no, that's not manipulative because that's a crutch that most people that defend the other side use. Right? It's like we do this for their safety.
Well, I would say that being suicidal comes from many different factors. The psycho, what do you call it? Oh fuck, not psychedelic.
Listen. I just want to say,
Psychological reason for it could be many different reasons, but again, it should be under treatment medication. We should not therefore do this. We could monitor them again and put them on suicide watch. I'm not saying that we should be doing it every case. However, certain cases, yes, extreme cases like that, potentially yes.
I
We'll
agree with
inform
you.
the
I think you
parents
should
and
treat it like
have them under watch.
anyone else that says I'm going to commit suicide. If a straight
Yes.
cisgender white man says I'm going to commit suicide,
Yes.
we should treat them exactly the
I
same.
agree.
Put them in a
Yeah,
psych ward, give them the
Yes.
medication, things like that.
okay, now
I
here,
agree.
no. Okay, let me just sum this up. I
Couldn't have said
I'm
it better
not trying
myself.
to
That's
say-
basically what I was trying to say.
yeah, okay, listen. I'm not trying to say if transgenderism is a problem or not a problem. I'm not trying to say if there's a solution to this or there's not a solution. My point from the beginning of everything was, again, the legal aspect. Because there's a difference between the legal aspect and the real objective reality or whatever. Because, again, all of us here can agree. Like, if someone's above 18 and they want to say, hey, I'm non-binary, I want to cut off my thing. Again, all of us agree that should be allowed. Even if you think objectively they're wrong, like, hey, you're not non-binary, you're a woman, you're a man. And again, I'm not even trying to weigh in, like, if that person is a real woman or not. Legality is what matters to me the most. And when it comes to legality, I think the main problem is only when you open a door and allow somebody to say, hey, I'm a woman, and they're allowed to literally go to a woman's prison. Because this literally happened in, I think, Scotland, where literally a guy just said he's a woman, and he literally ended up going to women's prison.
Reiterating the same points.
No, because I'm summing it up. No, I'm literally, because I want to end the stream. It's been going on. I want to sum it up and end the stream. Which the guy, he literally raped 7 women in prison, and they ended up literally pulling him out and putting him in mental. Just because, again, he just said it.
Third time I've heard this today.
Good, well, good for you. You're gonna hear it 50 times if you stop complaining, or if
No,
you
I'm
start
not gonna stop
complaining. Sorry, if you
I'll
start
never
complaining. Anyway, the point is, it's the legality, and then the thing I want to say, and we might have to do it for a whole different video, is what age should it be legal? Again, I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing for children to do it. It's just what age should it be legal for children to do stuff? What jail should people go to? When it comes to Olympics and sport, what should we do? When it comes to restrooms, what should we do? When it comes to spas, what should we do? And when it comes to safe spaces, there's something in Canada where in Ontario, I don't know, Sunny, if you knew this, but in Ontario, there's literally no safe space for men. There's either gender neutral safe spaces or just women safe spaces. And that's another one that I never touched on.
I don't even know what a safe space.
We have
I
like
don't know what
a
a safe
homeless
space
shelter.
means.
Like
Is it a room?
No. In Ontario, we have like homeless shelters.
I mean,
called safe
how do you
spaces.
not know what a safe space is? Like a
No,
safe
because
space
safe space is just like, oh, this classroom is a safe space to talk about your feelings.
Yeah,
That's what
don't-
I understand.
No,
Yeah,
like
yeah, don't make fun of Sunny,
generally,
he's
like,
right.
When you
Not
speak
everybody
politically, a safe space means like like anywhere where you know, I don't know how to describe it, but like a women's
Exactly.
sports team would be a
See?
safe place, like safe place for women, for example, right? Or a men's club would be a safe place for men, or something like that, right? Like
That's-
Well,
places
those
where
do
men and
exist in
women gather
Ontario.
naturally.
Men's clubs
Yeah,
do
those
exist in Ontario.
concepts are so changed now. Safe space should be like, oh, a changing room, oh, a locker room. Like I'm at the swimming
Yeah,
pool, I'm
those
at
are
the
yeah,
men's locker
exactly.
room. Yeah, but
Yep.
it's changed. They've morphed it into something else that it wasn't initially.
I agree, and I'm against that. Yeah, I'm 100% against that.
Ali, I
And
know
again,
you're about
that is an attack on your language
Wait,
because
yeah,
now
what's
they're
up? Sunny, what'd you say?
morphing your language.
Ali, I know you're about to end the stream, but there's some reservations I have with the transgender dude raping 7 people example.
Yeah, what's your issue then?
Okay, so like,
Is it
is
the
that
name one?
because is that because this person was transgender?
I'm not saying they did it because of it. I'm saying they literally, this person attempted to plant a bomb somewhere. They got arrested, and as soon as they were headed to jail, they literally told the police that, hey, I'm a woman. And they ended up putting that person in a women's prison. And dude, if
Okay.
you're
So are you saying with confidence that he wouldn't have raped men or hurt men if he was put in an all men's prison?
I can say with confidence.
It
due to the-
would have been a lot more difficult.
No.
Would've
I
been-
can say that with confidence
physically
because right
more
now he's in a male's prison, and as far as I'm concerned, I haven't heard anything. but I've heard he hasn't raped anybody. If I'm wrong, I'm open to being wrong. I'm not saying I know everything, but so far it's shown that.
I mean, it's a lot harder to rape a man than it is to rape a woman,
That's
right?
okay. We're not
Yeah.
gonna. Oh god, we're not gonna make the discussion.
He's right. He's right.
The main point is
Wow, but
But
that's
physically-
that's
no.
homophobic, guys.
No, stop.
That
This is the main point.
transphobic.
This is why maybe we should call it like the opening of the gate fallacy or something. Or if there's another word for it, we should find the word. Because here's the thing: pretend you're a psychopathic criminal. If the police literally let you go to a woman's prison, you'd say, yeah, I'm a woman. That's a free opportunity for you to rape a bunch of women. So that is the dangerous path. And I think even prisoners have constitutional and human rights. And so we shouldn't let this be like, you know what? Oh, you say you're a woman? Welcome to the woman's prison. It's literally a free buffet. And I'm sure we can all play devil's advocate and
Wait,
realize.
hold on. Don't prisoners give up their constitutional rights when they commit crimes against the law?
No,
I mean,
no,
the law
that's-
is literally there.
Some of
The
them.
law is
Some
literally
of them,
there
but
to
not
punish.
all.
They don't have the right permeability.
Yeah, they don't have a right to.
They don't have. Obviously, they give up their freedom of movement. They give up like the ability to vote for representatives and stuff.
Yeah.
But they
Wow,
still have
Sonny.
basic human rights.
Sonny, could you imagine people losing their right to mobility? Sonny, could you
Like,
imagine that?
concept of losing
They also give up their
constitutional
right to
rights,
own a firearm in America.
That's still constitutional rights you're losing. So it's literally
No,
what I'm saying.
but
I
you
don't-
still have no.
No, that's not. No, there's
You're,
a
like
difference.
they have a right not to be tortured, for example. Like that's actually you can't torture prisoners, except for Guantanamo Bay. That's why they call Guantanamo Bay not a prison because they don't have constitutional rights there. Other
But yeah,
Guantanamo-
there's actual like
Okay.
legal
End the
distinctions
stream. I'll be back.
between what
Sure. Okay. Stop stream. My video or Matt Walsh's video? Oh, yeah, no, the live stream, the funny thing, it ended up being too long, so I should have just stopped it at 1 hour. And also, apparently, for the first like 20 minutes, some people couldn't hear me, so I mean, it was a good experience. This is why it's good to do these things weekly, or at least like bi-weekly or something. So now I figured out exactly how to make the channel stream, so I don't have to force anybody to join StreamYard. They could just stay in Discord and they'll be stream. Although, Sina, are you Bleach? Are you Bleach on YouTube? Because somebody commented, this AK Drews guy should just shut up and accept the facts. I'm pretty sure that was you, dude.